Hey there everyone, 8is80 here once again with another game of StarCraft 2. This will be a Terran vs Protoss here on IC Cup Test Bug between the red Terran at the 3 o'clock MarineKingPrime and the blue Protoss here at the 7 o'clock vVvTime. This game is from vVv Wednesday Night Starcraft, which is just a weekly event that Time's team hosts every Wednesday night, and this time they happen to be playing against the members of the Team Prime, which of course MarineKing is on. Let's start with the Terran player. He is a Grandmaster level Terran player from the Korean servers, whose real name is Lee Jung-hoon, and his counterpart down here at the bottom expansion, or bottom main base rather, is a Grandmaster level Protoss player whose real name is Patrick Allen, that is vVvTime. So as these players begin to set up their bases here in the early game, let's go over this map itself, IC Cup Test Bug once again. It is one of the very rare maps that is designed to be a 3-player map. As you can see, that's top spawn, currently vacant, but would be possible to spawn at. So both these players will have 2 possible locations to scout out for their opponents who actually have been spawned at. There is a watchtower sitting smack dab in the middle of the map, surrounded by 3 more watchtowers, which are themselves surrounded by rocks that you must destroy if you want to be able to use them for that vision. Speaking of rocks, there are also 3 gold expansions around the middle of the map, but they themselves are blocked off by some rocks sitting smack dab in the middle of those mineral patches. So you actually can get your Nexus or CC down moderately close, but unfortunately you can't actually mine these rich mineral fields until you get rid of those obnoxious pests, those dirty rocks there in the middle of the map. So we'll see if these players do decide to take those in the middle, or if what they want to do if the game indeed reaches that point. The site I downloaded this game from did rate it very, very highly, almost 100% approval rating. So hopefully it lives up to that hype and does prove to be a very entertaining game to cast and to watch for you guys as well. That brings up a point, as we see both these players still just in the early stages of their bases. And in this lull, brings me to a point rather that some casters like to watch the games beforehand and kind of get a feel for what's going to happen. I personally much rather cast in the dark, I suppose is the best way to put it, just because I feel like it gives it more authenticity. I don't want to seem like I know exactly what's going to happen, because then when I'm casting it doesn't sound as real, as authentic, I guess is the only real words you can use there. I've asked people, that I've spoken to both on forums and, in-game chat, and it's kind of 50-50. Some people, want to make sure that the cast is done with, integrity and as much authenticity as possible, but then you have those people who, want the caster to know exactly what's going to happen so he can cast the right screen at the right time every single time something happens. But I guess that it's just 2 different schools of thoughts that, can't really be reconciled, because I can see the merits of both sides. But at any rate, let's get back into this game. As we see Warp Gate starting to get chrono boosted out for our Protoss player, getting that second gateway up inside his own base. Looks like the Destiny Cloudfist build right now for MarineKingPrime at his base, going right from that first barracks into that factory. Factory right now is approaching 2/3 or 3/4 of the way done inside his base, while our Protoss player is going to be getting that sentry out before the Zealot, I believe. So he's actually going, foregoing the original Zealot because he realized he wasn't going to get rushed, so he might as well wait until the Cyber Core was up and get that sentry. The reason Protoss players do this is because the earlier you get those sentries out, the quicker, or the more time rather, they will have to regenerate their energy and have more force fields to be used once the engagement does happen. And here we go, the starport, finishing off that Destiny Cloudfist build. Looks like a tech lab being built on this factory. Will he be using that for the factory, or will he be swapping that starport onto there? I believe he's probably going to be getting that starport onto the tech lab, possibly going for some Banshee harass, as we do see Time down here taking his natural expansion right around the 5-minute mark. That Nexus is just now underway. Mostly sentries right now, 2 sentries and 1 stalker comprising the army, with another sentry on the way for Time inside his own base, while MarineKingPrime is indeed going to be swapping that starport onto this tech lab, and is probably going to be immediately starting with some Banshee production as soon as he can. Going to be getting cloaking first, of course, just so you can have that online once those Banshees are arriving on the field. As these units just checking to make sure nothing shady is happening up here. Looks like this first scout going to be going the wrong direction. We'll realize that very quickly, and I guess both these players wanting to scout clockwise, which means MarineKing will be going the correct direction, as a Robo Bay is going up for our Protoss player. That's a little bit in the dark, as he has not scouted out his opponent, and unfortunately for him, it is not the most effective tech route. but I will let him get observers so he can at least get the guaranteed idea of what's happening inside MarineKing's base, which is those Banshees now underway. That first Banshee is about halfway done with cloaking, also about halfway done inside his starport tech lab. A second barracks going up now, as well as the probe was denied scouting because this is a tight wall-in with those supply depots being raised as they are. This Nexus having warped in, with some probes transferring down to the natural. That one probe actually juking the other ones out and deciding to become a scout rather than simply a lowly harvester, as this Banshee has now spawned, and we'll follow this across the map and see if she is able to do any significant damage here in the early game, as that cloaking for her is just a matter of about 15 in-game seconds from being complete, allowing her to be super sneaky and super duper invisible. As the second Banshee is about to join this first one on the field, just now getting that underway. The observer coming out of the robo for our Protoss, so he can have a better idea what's happening. But before that can happen, he will see this Banshee, or rather won't see it, but will see those grenades raining down on his probes. And that will not be great, as she is already up to 2 kills, and that is going to be rising. And it looks like this Banshee is being spotted by the observer, unfortunately for her. So it looks like she will have to move away and try to live to fight another day. She did get up to 3 kills there, which was good enough to at least be worth having gotten her in the first place. If the Terran player is able to muster up a few more, he might be able to do some damage, but no, it looks like he's going to be diverting his resources into some siege tanks out of his tech lab factory. Also going to be researching some siege tech with that tech lab as well. This Banshee sitting right around half health, a little bit under half health rather, is up to 4 kills now. So that Banshee doing some nice work right now. Joining her is the second Banshee, as they might be going in for a second strafing run. There are stalkers with an observer upside to spot, so I mean, this is not going to work too well for these Banshees if they attack from that angle, but they might be able to find an angle to attack from, as they are going to be attacking this stalker. They do take that stalker out pretty easily, as will she be able to get away? And yes, this Banshee manages to escape there with 8 hit points, up to 5 kills, got promoted to Corporal. So that's great for that Banshee, and she is going to be getting a Medal of Honor when she arrives back home, if she arrives back home rather, because of course the StarCraft unit's lifespan is not the greatest, not enviable at all. As this probe will have verification that MarineKing has not expanded. He is kind of confined inside his main base right now, but he does have a healthy number of 3 siege tanks along with 2 Banshees, with a third one on the way as we speak. But he has quite the nice composition. Marines, tanks, and Banshees in the air. This might spell some trouble for Time if he doesn't scout it out and have some sort of response made in time for the initial push, as this observer is forced to just sit over here because he needs to be able to spot Banshees in case they come back with that cloaking and try to do some more damage. That observer cannot go and scout out his opponent's base because he knows that he has a job to do back on his own natural expansion. Looks like MarineKing is going to be moving out, walking past the gold expansion between their 2 bases. Banshees spearheading the assault. They might want to get back a little bit once the time gets closer to the attack. Actually, nope, they might be able to get some damage done up here, as the Stalkers are going to be a little bit out of position just because they are stationed down here. Looks like they did get a couple of probes there, and they will pull back. Nice, very nice micro right there by MarineKingPrime. Once again, not losing any of those Banshees, and has SCVs up here to repair. So MarineKing is devoting a lot of resources and SCVs to this push. He doesn't have much income at all back home. He still has some, but of course he is losing that battle when he's taken SCVs off of the mineral line. Here comes the engagement right here outside our Protoss player's front door. Will MarineKing be able to steamroll through here? Nope, it might be a little bit of trouble because Immortals are on the field for our Protoss player, and they're doing some nice damage, being able to soak up those tanks' splash damage pretty easily, and they do repel it for a second, but the Terran army is just proving to be possibly a little bit too big. As they are coming back here, the Protoss player is forced to retreat. He has the units behind this Nexus, leaving the Nexus completely unguarded, and it will be going down in the very near future. And there it goes. And that might just be the end for Time's chances in this game. He is probably going to be drastically losing this battle. And yes, indeed, 3,500 resources lost for Time, only 1,400 for MarineKing. And here comes the last stand for Time. He will need to do some serious defending right now, but it does not look like he will be able to do so, as those Immortals completely outmatched by Banshees. Just, obvious reasons, because Banshees can hit them while the Immortals cannot fight back. As these Marines also very nice there, and vVvTime will be forced to GG out of this game, and MarineKingPrime takes this game down for his clan in this show match of clan battles between Prime and vVv. So well played by MarineKingPrime. I hope you guys enjoyed that game, and I will see you guys next time.